The shuttle docked without ceremony. No escort. No fanfare. Just a silent, sleek Terran Envoy-class vessel pressing against the exterior port of Zarval Prime like a stone at the edge of a blade. Inside the receiving bay, the Deathworld Alliance's observation team waited. 6 races, all apex in their own right. Predators, scavengers, warbred intellects hardened by atmospheres of acid, gravity that crushed bone, and ecosystems where blinking too slowly meant death. They came to see Earth's answer to rejection. "Where is the security team?" hissed Counselor Rethk, twitching his segmented thorax. "Not needed," replied High Strategist Sekran, folding his gloved hands. "Earth requested no ceremony. Said it would be unnecessary." The docking latch hissed. The air shifted. The hatch opened. And a single man stepped through. Human. Mid-30s. No armor. No escorts. No insignia. Just a gray diplomatic coat. Clean boots. A calm gait. And a smile. Sekran narrowed his eyes. "This is it?" The man scanned the room like a guest evaluating a half-finished hotel lobby. "I'm Ambassador Cain Marek," he said. "On behalf of Earth, I bring myself." No date pads. No delegation. No crate of exotic Terran wildlife as a bribe. Just a man. He extended his hand. No one took it. Marek withdrew it unoffended. "I assume I'll be processed?" Sekran's mouth curled. "Yes. Extensively. Lab Bay 7A, Observation Suite." Marek sat calmly in a temperature-variable chair as sensors scanned his vitals. The technicians, 2 Phyrexians and a Norin neurosifter, whispered to each other. "No elevated heart rate. No perspiration. Body temperature stable at 36.9 Celsius. He's bored." Sekran observed from the balcony above, fingers tapping the railing. "He refuses food?" the strategist asked. "Hasn't eaten since arrival. Claims he's fasting." "Sleep?" The neurosifter shook her tendrils. "No REM activity detected. He simply lies still. Occasionally hums." Sekran leaned into the mic. "Ambassador Marek. You understand where you are?" "Zarval Prime," Marek replied, without looking up. "Alliance's diplomatic and military hub. 75 decks. No natural light. You are not here to negotiate," Sekran said coldly. "Earth was denied application." Marek smiled again. "Then I must be a gift." First evaluation, controlled fear induction. Marek was escorted into the black chamber. No visible door. Just darkness, and the low-frequency pulse of environmental dread. A tested method. No creature lasted more than 7 minutes without crying out. Marek lasted 21. He stood in the center, blinking slowly. Hands by his sides. No defensive posture. When the holograms shifted to images of pain, isolation, and death, his pupils didn't dilate. His breath slowed. The lab watched in confusion. "What is he doing?" whispered a technician. Sekran stared. "He's humming." When the simulation ended, Marek walked out unaided. "You'll need better projectors," he said softly. Second evaluation, neurostressor. This time, the approach was internal. They activated a buried psychic loop through a cranial implant they'd slipped in during his arrival scan. It should have triggered a recursive anxiety sequence. Instead, it triggered laughter. Soft at first. Then louder. Cain Marek laughed, openly, freely, until the neurosifter screamed and pulled off her headset, clutching her face. "He's not reacting!" she cried. "He's mirroring." Sekran froze. That loop was classified. "I don't think he even noticed. I think," she swallowed, "he's trained to ignore it." Later that cycle, Medbay incident. A telepath, part of the analysis team, died during routine rest. Cardiac arrest. Autopsy revealed massive cross-activation of emotional memory centers. Like every trauma in his life had been triggered at once. No external cause. Marek had never spoken to him directly. But they shared one hallway, once, Zekrun's private interrogation room. Marek sat alone under a single light. Zekrun entered. No guards. He didn't need them. Not on a Deathworld station. The room felt cold, but Marek looked rested. "You're not here to be evaluated," Zekrun said. Marek tilted his head. "You're here to scare us." "No," Marek said, smiling. "I'm here to teach you." "Teach us what?" Marek leaned forward. "You believe Deathworlds make strength. That predators make dominion. But Earth doesn't just kill you with storms or pressure or hunger." He paused. "Earth kills you with your own kind." Zekrun's jaw clenched. "You think that makes you terrifying?" He spat. "No," Marek whispered. "It makes us familiar." Final scene, surveillance room. Zekrun watched the camera feed. Marek asleep, or appearing to sleep, on the slab. He lay still. But the monitors flickered. And from the calm speakers came a soft, rhythmic sound. Breathing? No. Screaming. Layered. Human. Alien. Endless. The technician flinched. "Is that coming from the feed?" "No," Zekrun murmured. "It's from the system itself." The sound faded as quickly as it began. And Marek opened his eyes. Right into the lens. Still smiling. The station lights dimmed for exactly 0.8 seconds. Not enough to trigger a security protocol, but enough to register as a fault. Enough for fear to begin. Zekrun stood in the control tower of Observation Sector 12, his gaze fixed on the holoscreen. It showed Ambassador Cain Marek sitting in the center of a void chamber, legs crossed, spine straight, as if meditating. A low pulse vibrated through the alloy walls. Not mechanical. Rhythmic. Breathing? No one could trace the source. "What's the update on auditory feedback?" Zekrun asked. A technician responded, nervous fingers tapping. "We rerouted the channels, there's no internal playback. The sounds aren't being broadcast. They're being generated." Zekrun frowned. "By the human? No speakers. No implants. But something's resonating." Another screen blinked red. "Subject still has not eaten. 73.5 hours without sustenance." "His vitals?" Zekrun demanded. "Stable. No atrophy. No dehydration markers." Zekrun turned to his second in command. "Bring in the mutagen protocol." Medical testing chamber, 2 floors below. Cain Marek stood still as synthetic restraints coiled around his limbs. Above, the delivery unit hummed, a long needle filled with an engineered mutagen tailored for species in high-stress environments. In others, it triggered violent panic followed by neurological collapse. Zekrun activated the sequence. The serum hissed into Marek's bloodstream. Silence. Then Cain's pupils dilated, but not in fear. His pulse slowed. Skin temperature rose by half a degree. Instead of screaming, he exhaled. And the room began to stink, pungent, organic, wrong. A Phyrexian scientist coughed and clawed at their throat. Another broke a monitor with their tail. "Get him out!" they howled, voice trembling. Security bots rushed in, blades armed, tasers charged. Marek remained still. "Shut it down!" Zekrun growled. They flushed the chamber. But the smell didn't go. It lingered. Aggression surged across the lab, technicians shouting, throwing tools, snapping at each other in alien tongues. It wasn't a toxin. It was emotional radiation. From him. Post-incident debrief, strategist's quarters. Zekrun locked the chamber door manually, an old instinct. The room felt smaller than usual. Sketh, his advisor, stood still beside the monitor feed. "He didn't react to the mutagen," she said. "He redirected it." Zekrun poured a vial of stabilizing gel into his throat sac. It didn't help. "He metabolized it into phenomenal vectors. Primitive, yet effective. And he wasn't surprised. He expected it." Sketh stepped closer to the screen. "What kind of species trains their diplomats for this?" Zekrun replied without blinking. A species that doesn't send diplomats. Elsewhere on the station, psychological containment ward. The telepath who'd first died wasn't the last. Another was admitted that cycle, screaming gibberish about the eyes inside mirrors. A third stabbed themselves through the ear canal to stop the whispers. None of them had been in the room with Marek. Only near him. Even asleep he reached Zekrun's personal interrogation room, later. He entered without guards. His pride wouldn't allow it. Marek sat cross-legged on the floor, untouched, unfazed. His eyes tracked Zekrun's movement with the calm of someone who had already counted all exits. "You've made yourself quite the anomaly," Zekrun said. Cain didn't speak. "Your presence is disrupting classified AI systems. You killed the telepath, indirectly." "Not killed," Marek corrected softly. "Freed." "From what?" "Containment." Zekrun folded his arms. "Is that what this is? You think you're breaking something?" Marek looked up slowly. "I'm not breaking. I'm reminding." Zekrun stepped forward, unshaken. "Of what?" Cain's smile faded, for the first time. "That terror has a source. And it remembers who left it behind." Station System Log, Emergency Anomaly Report. 2314. Quantum comms disrupted for 3.2 seconds. 2315. Crew member Yenth reports auditory hallucinations during dream state, echoes of human screams. 2317. Sub-AI unit Tertius initiates auto-shutdown protocol without command. 2319. Lighting system flickers across decks 5 to 9. 2320. Ambassador Marek recorded speaking while asleep. "Open the room. Let it in." Scene cut. Dream loop observation chamber. Desperate for understanding, Zekrun authorizes the most dangerous test yet, the recursive dream loop. Cain is suspended in the dream tank, a neural immersion that mirrors his deepest fear, on loop, until neural collapse. 20 minutes in, the operators see something strange. The loop stops mirroring. It starts generating. Visuals flood the screen: dark rooms, broken voices, scorched walls, a child laughing while surrounded by corpses. The screen goes black. Cain opens his eyes. "I remember now," he says. The control panel sparks. An operator vomits. Another begins crying. Not screaming. Crying. Zekrun, log entry. "He's not a diplomat. He's not even a soldier. He's a carrier. A living memory of what it means to survive in spite of civilization. Earth didn't send us a gift. Earth sent us a relapse." Final scene, dark corridor. A junior guard walks past Marek's cell, just as the lights flicker again. He hears something. Not in his ears, in his bones. A whisper. "Do you want to see it?" He turns to the cell. Cain Marek is staring straight at him. Smiling. Not kindly. Like he knows what the guard dreams about. The boy doesn't move. Can't move. The lights come back on. Marek is sitting again. Eyes closed. As if he never moved. The tribunal chamber was half empty. That had never happened before. Several representatives had simply refused to attend. Others sent synthetic proxies. Those who did show up arrived late, eyes darting, limbs twitching like prey sensing something wrong with the wind. Ambassador Cain Marek stood at the center of the room, unchained. The Alliance guards, seasoned and cyber-augmented, had been dismissed. Not by orders, by fear. Zekrun sat at the high table. His hands were clasped tightly. His voice, however, remained steady. "State your purpose, Ambassador." Marek looked around the chamber, his expression calm but unreadable. No smile this time. "My purpose?" His voice carried clearly. "I was the response." "Response to what?" "To your laughter," Marek said. "To your rejection. Earth applied to join your alliance. You mocked us. Called us volatile. Unstable. Unworthy." He stepped forward once. "So we sent a demonstration." There was no threat in his tone. That made it worse. Earlier that cycle, pre-tribunal memory extraction procedure, Zekrun had authorized a final measure, a memory splice. Access Cain Marek's core trauma. Extract it. Understand what made him. The splice began with a neural tether. For the first 11 seconds, nothing happened. At 12 seconds, the feed burst into color and motion. A child, Marek, strapped to a chair. Screaming. Metal closing in from all sides. Voices behind glass. Increased dosage. Keep him conscious. This isn't training. This is conditioning. Outside, the world was burning. Sirens. Fires. Screens flashing slogans. Demon protocol, build the monster they fear. The viewers recoiled. One of the techs vomited and collapsed. Marek's mind wasn't just traumatized. It had been sculpted. And then weaponized. Tribunal chamber, present. Zekrun rose. You were created to be this. Yes, Marek replied. Earth needed something they couldn't understand. You think that makes you superior? No, Marek said softly. It makes me a warning. He turned to the rest of the council. You build your civilizations atop instinct, claws, acids, hive memory. But we built ours atop betrayal. Paranoia. Cycles of self-destruction. Your predators hunt others. Ours hunted us. He paused. And we adapted. Until fear was no longer a response. It became a language. System report, unscheduled power disruption. 1441, tribunal chamber lights dimmed by 30%. 1442, backup systems failed to activate. 1443, station-wide auditory anomaly, classified as cognitive echo, detected on all frequencies. 1444, Ambassador Marek's heartbeat increases slightly. First recorded change since arrival. 1445, screaming begins. It didn't come from Marek. It came from the walls. From the speakerless air. From inside the skulls of those present. Delegates cried out, clutching their heads. The proxies flickered and shorted. A Zilvathi official staggered out of the room, clawing at their own throat. Zekrun remained still, forcing breath through clenched jaws. You're doing this, he growled. No, Marek said, voice quiet. You are the broadcast. Marek shook his head once. I'm just the antenna. Flashback fragment, intercepted Earth transmission. Classified, encryption Omega Black. Unit 001 is stable. Field deployment within acceptable loss parameters. Psychological vector confirmed. Host does not require direction, only proximity. Do not recall him. Ever. If transmission ends, assume breach. End of transmission. Tribunal chamber. Containment fails. The doors locked of their own accord. Marek stood, unmoving, as the chamber lights flickered and dimmed again. Shadows curled unnaturally in the corners. Several delegates screamed at shapes no one else could see. Zekrun activated his override. Emergency lockdown. Nullify subject. The AI paused. Denied. What? He barked. By who? Subject Marek designated core presence. System refuses hostility. The station itself had recognized him. Not as a threat. As commanding. Marek stepped closer to the tribunal floor. One delegate tried to stand, froze mid-motion, eyes rolling back. I didn't come to hurt anyone, he said softly. You're tearing this place apart. Zekrun snapped. I didn't come to hurt anyone, Marek repeated. That's your assumption. I came to let you see what you're not prepared for. What is that? Marek stopped just short of the central control pillar. The truth. That Earth doesn't belong to your alliance. You belong to ours. Station log, aftermath summary. 1600 hours, tribunal session terminated. 1614, 17 delegates placed under psychological quarantine. 1632, AI subsystem Tertius deactivated by unknown command. 1633, Ambassador Marek escorted to shuttle unopposed. 1634, shuttle departs without incident. Trail cloaked. Destination unknown. 1700 hours, screaming persists in Level 4 Diagnostics Lab. No personnel present. Final scene, Cain Marek's shuttle. He sat alone, staring out at the stars as they drifted past. Blood still marked the edge of his sleeve. He hadn't noticed. The AI pilot chimed softly. Destination? Marek didn't answer at first. Then, Earth. A pause. Then, no. Not yet. Another pause. Send me where they still laugh. The AI complied. Behind the departing ship, Zarval Prime spun in silence. No reports of direct violence. No wounds. No explosions. Just the ongoing, unexplainable, screaming.